All right, and I forgot to post this yesterday for those, so I'll have post 2 of them today. But yesterday we said that there was 12 inches in a foot. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Because there are 12 inches in a foot, right? That means if you have 10 feet 3 inches, you can't multiply 10 feet 3 inches by 13 feet 9 inches, correct? So we have to convert to the same units. And we said yesterday that 3 inches is the same as 3/12. Does everybody agree with that? All right, now last year, of course, and the year before that, you were introduced to rectangles. And I'm kind of hoping everybody understands that the area of a rectangle is just what? Length times width. All right. Now, on your calculator, if you type in, bless you, 10 ABC 3 ABC 12 times 13 9 ABC 12 and hit the equal, you should be able to tell me what that came out. 100 what?
40.
So we're going to write 140 and say it again. 15 over 16. Now that would not give you the correct answer, believe it or not. All right, what would be the correct answer?
Shift and then ABC.
No. How do you measure area? With what? With squares. Thank you. You measure area with squares. So this would be 140 and 15/16 what?
Square feet.
Square what?
Feet.
Square feet. So everybody needs to put the units on. We're going to work hard on units as well. Now, does everybody understand how or why they measure area with squares? Does anybody know? All right, so let's look up here because I would be negligent if I didn't review this with you. So I'd like everybody to draw an inch. Estimate what you think an inch is on your paper. Go ahead. And then after you draw an inch, I would like for you to estimate what you think a square inch looks like. And then what I would like for you to do after you draw a square inch is draw a what? Cubic inch. All right. And that's for me to decide if you even understand what I'm talking about. Estimate what an inch is, draw a square inch, and then draw a cubic inch. All right. So now here is what should be on your paper. All right. Do I really care what you think an inch looks like? No, but if you want to get a good estimate, if you do this with your knuckle right here, believe it or not, that's about an inch, your knuckle. All right, from there to there is about an inch. Believe it or not, it's pretty standard for everybody. All right, so that's about an inch. But the point is, I don't really care what you thought an inch was. I want you to understand that inch measures length. Right? So when someone says, how tall are you? You could say I'm a certain amount of inches or I'm a certain amount of feet. You don't say I'm a certain square inch or I'm not a certain cubic inch. All right. So that to me right there looks like an inch. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to now try to draw for you what I think is a square inch. All right. Now to me, that looks like a square inch. All right, now do you understand why you measure area with squares? It's kind of like if you look at the floor right here. Tiles, these tiles are in what? Squares. And so they just put a whole bunch of squares. And I think they're actually square feet. All right, does everybody understand what I'm saying? So when you measure a room, we say there's 150 square feet. What does that mean? That means I could fit 150 squares in that room. Is everybody with me on that? All right. Now, of course, we're going to ask you about a cubic foot. All right. And so when I draw a cubic foot, you will understand what? Exactly correct. Now, the reason I want to demonstrate this for you is because I'm amazed at how many adults don't even know the difference between a foot, a square foot, and a cubic foot. What do you measure cubes with? Or what's the purpose of measuring in cubes?
Because my stuff is.
What? A room. Now, what do you mean a room? Yes, like how much space is in this room? Like I could fit 1,000 cubic feet in this room. That means I could stack 1,000 cubes in this room. All right. You measure volume. You measure volume with cubes. All right. We're going to do a whole unit on area and a whole unit on volume. And you'll understand exactly what I mean. All right. But I'm always upset when kids, I ask them, what's the difference between an inch, a square inch, and a cubic inch? They look at me like I'm crazy. All right. You measure distance with units. This would be considered 1 inch, and it's to the first power. And the reason it's to the first power is because it's one-dimensional. This over here is inches squared because you're measuring how many dimensions? 2, a length and a width. Volume is what? 3 dimensions. All right. And so that's the difference between an inch, a square inch, and a cubic inch. So whenever someone refers to area, it's always measured in squares. When someone asks about volume, it's always measured in cubes. When they always measure distance, it's in units. And what do I mean by units? Units is just to the first power. All right. So please understand that as we go through these word problems, I'm going to expect you to know the difference. All right. So now let's take a look at number 8. All right. Number 8 was hard. All right. Hopefully you talk to your parents if you're having problems. You have enough paving stones to cover 10 square yards. All right. You plan on making a walkway that is 30 inches wide. How long can you make the walkway with the paving stones that you have? All right. Now, does everybody understand what a paving stone is, right? Like in your outdoors or on your patio or whatever, on the surface, they bring in squares, right? Or sometimes they'll bring in, they're measured in what? Rectangles, all the different shapes, correct? Come on now, everybody's got to pay attention because it gets hard. All right. Now, you're right, actually. You can have hexagon. There's all kinds of cool shapes now that you can use to put down on the floors. All right. But the question is, I've got a stack of paving stones that can cover 10 square yards. Now, the problem is right off the bat that I have 10 square yards and I have a walkway that I want what? 30 inches wide. So what's the problem? What?
Well, 10 square yards.
Right.
A yard is like 36.
You are amazing, girl. You are amazing. So listen to what she's saying. It's exactly correct. The units are different. You can't have yards and then talk about inches. So you've got to convert, in my opinion, you either convert to inches or you convert to yards. All right. Now, personally, all right, I want to show you that it's easier right now for our unit is to say our walkway, and this is going to be my walkway right here. This is my walkway. And how wide is it? It's 30 inches. All right, it's 30 inches. I want to know how long my walkway is going to be if I'm going to use all 10 square yards. All right, so in here is 10 square yards. So I really want to measure everything in what? I want to measure everything in yards. Is everybody with me on that? So now my question is to you, 30 inches is how many yards? Is it more than 1 yard or less than 1 yard? Less. All right, so we're going to write it as a fraction. So 30 out of how many? No, not 12. 12 inches in a foot. How many inches in a yard again? 36. So if you don't know that, you need to put that down because you're going to be responsible for knowing that. 36 inches is equal to 1 yard. And you might put 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And if you don't know that there are 3 feet in a yard, that's kind of important information. So help me out. If there's 30 inches, it's going to be 30 out of how many? Say it. Come on. 30 out of 36. So everybody do on their calculator 30 ABC 36 and hit enter. And then you can tell me what that reduces to. You okay? Where is it? Come on, girl. If you don't have something, just tell me.
Enter. What is that?
Equals.
Oh,
Okay. And what did that come out to be, please? 5/6. All right, so everybody put 5/6 down instead of 30/36. I got a 5/6. Now that would be 5/6 what? No. 5/6 what? Think for yourself. Yards. Don't listen to anybody else. Think for yourself. If you think for yourself, then you can figure out if you know it or not. And then you can correct it if you don't. All right. So now let's call this the length up here in your picture. This is the length. All right. Now, does everybody understand we have area right here, correct? This is my area. And what's the formula? And what shape is that? Let's call this. What's that shape? Rectangle. What's the formula for area of a rectangle? Area is equal to length times width. Is everybody happy with that? So what's the area? Come on, guys. What's the area? 10. Thank you. For those of you guys who are listening, how do I know it's 10? Because you measure area with squares. And what? Here are my what? Squares. Now remember, it's so important that you speak up now if you're not understanding me. Is everybody okay with that being 10 square yards? What? Well, I read the problem. It's in the problem. The walkway is going to be 10 square yards. Well, you're making a walkway. Do you understand what a walkway is, right? It's like a sidewalk, right? Well, that's what we're doing right now. It's just the area of a rectangle is what you're measuring. You with me on that? Are you sure? All right, here we go. I'm happy with that. Again, now again, I need, if you're not understanding why I called it a rectangle, you can let me know, right? Everybody sees a walkway is generally in a rectangle, correct? All right. So now I have the area of that walkway can be what? 10 square yards. Now I said, we need to know the formula for area of a rectangle is length times width. And we know the area is how much again? 10, because it's in the problem, the area, we have 10 square yards. Now, the length, do we know what the length is? No. And what's the width? 5/6. All right. So now how do we solve this basic math problem? How do we undo multiplication? Yeah, division, kiddo. Right. So I'm going to pull this out of the way just for a quick second. I'm going to reduce this down. All right. So now I would just simply divide both sides by 5/6. Divide both sides by 5/6. So length is equal to, so now take your handy dandy calculator. This is what we're talking about. You got to pay attention 100% of the time. You can't mess around or the test doesn't go well. Every day you have to do that. And somebody tell me what 10 divided by 5/6 is. Exactly what? 12 what? Stop. 12 what? So I'm measuring length. Is length one-dimensional or two-dimensional? Area is 2 dimensions. Length and width is 1. So the length of your sidewalk will be what? 12. What? Why are you saying feet? 12 yards. Are you measuring length with squares? No, it's just 12 yards. It's just 12 yards long. So everybody do me a favor. My walkway will be 12 yards long by 5/6 of a yard wide. What do you think is 12 times 5/6? Do that. Do 12 times 5/6 and tell me what that is.
And
Everybody should be doing that on your calculator. And that's how many what? Squares we have. That's how I know I'm right. All right, think about that, please. All right. Now, let's see how much I've taught you. Suppose now I measured and my walkway, let's say my walkway, instead of being, oh, come on. Here we go. Here's my new walkway, though. I just measured out, I need it to be what? I need it to be 16 2/3 yards long. Let's say that was my front door. Let's say I put my door here, and here is the end of my road. And I want to make a walkway for myself. All right, I want it to be really nice. So I measured it out. I have 10 square yards sitting in a pile. I'm going to lay that stone out. How wide can I make my walkway? Now, keep in mind, the area has to be still what? The area is still what?
15.
The area is still what? 10. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The area is still 10 square yards. The area is still 10 square yards. My question is, if I measured it out and it was 16 2/3 yards that way, how many or how wide can I make it now? What do I need to do? Come on, some of you are daydreaming. No one. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Now, she said, do we divide? And the answer is, well, what figure do we have here, please? Rectangle. And what are we talking about?
The area.
The area. So should come to your mind, what formula? Area equals length times width. What is my area? 10. What's my length? 16 2/3. My width is unknown. So how do I solve this? What do I divide? What do I punch into my calculator first? Do we do 16 2/3 divided by 10 or 10 divided by 16 2/3?
10 divided by 16.
Right, because I'm taking, please watch if you're clueless, I'm dividing 16 2/3 here, dividing by 16 2/3 here, and that will tell me the width of my sidewalk. 3/5. So I can make it 3/5 of a what? Yard. All right, 3/5 of a yard. All right. What's that? Look right up here. What does this say to you right here, girl? This is super important. You see what I'm saying, right? Now, how do you know what goes in the calculator first, the 10 or the 16 2/3? It's whichever number you say first goes into the calculator first. So this says what? 10 divided by 16 2/3. That's what that says. Go.
What do you do for every problem?
We're going to be thinkers. It's not going to be. I'm just not going to say we're going to do it for every problem. You with me on that? That's why it's hard, because you have to what? You have to think about it, right? All these problems are different, and you're having to think, and that's why it's so what? That's why it's so hard. And that's why I'm fussing at some of you already. If you're not paying attention, or if you're daydreaming, or if you're thinking about other things, it's going over your head. All right. You got to concentrate every minute while you're in here, or it's not going to go well. Go. With what? You have to tell me exactly with what, buddy. What do you mean the two? I don't see a two. A equals 2W. Where do you see?
That's an L.
It's length times width.
Area equals length times width. You with me on this?
Yes.
This is my length and my width is unknown. And my area is 10. Right? So I replace the area with 10. I replace the length with 16 2/3. So to solve for W, I had to divide both sides by 16 2/3. Okay. Now, again, is this hard, guys? Yeah, it's hard. No doubt. All right. Teaching you to think is hard. And some of you want, do I do this every single time? No, you don't. Every single question is a little bit different. All right. That's what makes it hard. All right. So here we go. Let's knock out number 9. Use the table to find the cost of buying the amount of fabric. The price per yard is given in the table. So if I want blue fabric, it's going to cost me what? $6 per yard. Brown is 5, green is 4, pink is 7, red is 9, yellow is $8 per yard. I want to walk into the store and I'm going to tell them, man, I need 3 1/4 yards of brown fabric. If I want 3 1/4 yards of brown fabric, how much is that going to cost me? Someone volunteer. What? How do you get? I want to know an answer. How do I get? I don't care what the answer is. I want you to tell me how to do it. 3 1/4 times what? Times 5. That's exactly correct. All right. Now on your calculator, do 3 1/4 times 5. Is that okay? And what did we get?
16 1/4.
16 1/4. Now the problem is we're dealing with money. Do we do money? Do we do fractions or do we do decimals? Decimals. All right. Now everybody in here knows what 1/4 is. 1/4 is what decimal?
20.25.
0.25. Let's just say we didn't know what that was. On my calculator, how would I figure out how to do it? 1 divided by 4. Everybody do 1 divided by 4. Just to show you. That's what? 1 divided by 4. That's why you're doing it.
0.25.
0.25. So what was the final answer for number 9? 16.25. So you would say $16.25. Okay, now number 11. We're doing 11. We're not doing 10. Davis, what? Yes, tell me what to do.
So you multiply. So blue fabric is $6.
Right?
So you multiply 5, which is
5 and what?
3, and 5 and 6. I mean, 8, 9, 6.
And what is that?
And you get 32 and 1/4.
Which is the same as?
32.25.
Yes, 32.25. Anybody have any issues with that? That's not so bad, right?
No.
That's not bad. All right, here we go. Now let's do one more for the red fabric. Carolyn, tell me about the red fabric. What are we going to do? Number 13, actually. 15 2/3. Tommy? How much? Anybody else get 141? Yeah, $141. I like it. I like it. Now, everybody circle 10, 12, and 14. Don't do it right now because we're doing number 15. All right. Now, it says you have $50. You need to buy all the blue fabric you can get. How many yards can you buy? What are you thinking? First of all, how much is the blue fabric? $6. So how much fabric can I buy? What are you suggesting? Very good. How did you get that though? Shh. 8. 6 times 8 is close to 50, right? But I want to know exactly. You can buy fractions. So now listen to what your brain did. No, look, no. Look up. I want to show you because you're almost there. Ready? So you just did 6. Watch me. No, you're not listening to me. I'm trying to teach your brain how to think. Listen to me. 6 times something is equal to 50. Do you agree with me? So now how do I solve that? You see what this is? This is multiplication, right? So how do I undo multiplication? Listen, Davis, you are going to be in lots of trouble, bud. You understand me? You keep your mouth shut. All right? You're not helping. Now, I don't care what your calculator's doing. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. You had it almost figured out because in your brain, you said, I know 6 times 8 is close to 50. So I'm going to go with 8. Now, instead of guessing, here's what you're supposed to be saying to your brain. 6 times something is equal to 50. So instead of doing the multiplication to undo multiplication, we can do what? Divide. So I'm dividing both sides by 6. So now take your calculator and do 50 ABC 6. And what does it come out to be? Say it again. Is it 8 1/3? Yes. So you can say 8 1/3 yards. Now everybody do 50 divided by 6 on their calculator. And what does it come out to be? 8.3 repeating. So everybody in here needs to know, well, I already know because we've done it a million times. 0.3 repeating is what fraction? 1/3. If you forgot, it's just 3/9. And 3/9 reduces to what? 1/3. That's how you know it. All right. But we generally, when you go into a fabric store, if you want to buy fabric, you can buy parts of a yard. So you can just say 50 divided by 6 on your calculator as a fraction, 50 ABC 6, and hit enters, and then it'll do the work for you. Yes, sir. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I want 8 1/3 yards because we're dealing with what? Fractions. If you got 8.3 repeating, you should know 0.3 repeating because we've done it on almost every test now. 0.3 repeating is 1/3. Tell me.
Oh, wait, no,
Thank you. All right, let's have some more fun. All right. All right, number 16. Mr. Valdez, read it to me, please.
A year is 13 1/2 inches wide and 21 1/4 inches long. What is the area of the mirror?
How do I find area of this mirror? Shh. I want him to tell me. Everyone's going to get a chance to read and clue me in. You are amazing. Area equals length times width equals 13 1/2 times 21 1/4. I'm listening to the answer, please. Everybody's using their calculator. Put your hand down. He's doing it. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Just do it yourself. He's brilliant. He doesn't need help.
I got 286 and 7/8.
286 and 7/8 what? Inches what? Nope. We're measuring what? Yes, we're measuring area. Area must be measured in squares. Area must be measured in squares. All right. Liv, read 17, please. Loud and proud. Come on, I can't hear you. I know, I see you in the hallway screaming up and down. You can, come on. Loud and proud. Let's go. All right, I'm listening to you. So you got this big mouse you see in your house. All right. And you notice it's 7¼ inches long. And then you notice that the tail is half its body length. So how long is the tail? Seven and 1/4. Times what? Times what? Times half. Wow, that was pretty good. 7 and 1/4 times a half. And please tell me what that is. Shh, shh. 3 and 5/8 what? Anybody else? What? Your tail is being measured in square inches? Thank you. Tell me again, 3 and what? Yeah, now look, guys, I want you to make mistakes with units because units are very difficult for most people. Once you understand area, we measure with squares. Length, we measure with units. So everybody's going to be able to tell me this is 3 and 5/8 inches. Now, I need everybody to write 7 and 1/4 times 1/2. That's on your paper. And right underneath it, the other option is to do what? Divide by what, though? Yes. And then underneath that, I want everybody to write down 7 and 1/4 divided by 2 and double check that on your calculator. It should be the same thing, but you're still checking it out just because I'm trying to get something in your brain. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by what? 2. That's what needs to be in your brain. So don't take my word for it. Let your calculator help you. You're practicing with your calculator. That's what you're doing. All right. Read it, Miss Vaughn. Let's see if you got this today.
Track calls for 3/4 cup dry flour and 1 2/3 cups of bread flour. How many cups of flour will we need altogether?
What are you thinking?
Does this mean the rye flour and bread flour combined?
Wow, that was pretty good. Now what? Shh. You add them. Very good. So we're going, everybody's going to write down 3/4 plus 1 2/3. And we're waiting on you patiently. Hurry up.
Two and 12 cups of flour.
Good job. Very nice. 2 5/12 cups. All right, there we go. All right, Wyatt, you're up.
Ordered a cut to be 1.5 inches thick, straight down to 1 What's the difference in the thickness?
What do I do?
Subtract.
Subtract. Thank you. Let's go. Beautiful work. Come on, have at it.
And that's
I'm waiting.
7 over 32.
Anybody get that?
Yeah.
Let's go. Put it in your calculator again, though. He said 7 over 32. 7 over 32 what, though? Inches. Thank you very much. 7 over 32 inches. All righty. Number 20. Peter, you up? You ready? Read it to me, please.
The rectangle has a perimeter of 23.5 centimeters. The two shorter sides measure 5 and 2/3 centimeters each. What is the length of each of the two on the side?
All right, here we go. So I'm drawing another rectangle. Everybody's drawing a rectangle for me. The two shorter sides are 5 and 2/3. 5 and 2/3. Now, do you remember what perimeter meant? Adding what? If I go for a walk around this perimeter, all right, here's what I like to do for kids to show them. I'm going for a little walk. All right, here we go. I start here and I walk here, 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 here. I've just walked the what? The perimeter. That's what it means. All right. When you're instructed to walk the perimeter, that means you're instructed to walk around the outside. That's what perimeter is. All right. That's all there is to it. Now, do you agree I'm missing the long side? But they do give me the total what? They give me the total distance that I walked, right? So does anybody remember the formula from last year about perimeter? What is it? What are you thinking? Perimeter.
Equals length times 2
And
width times 2.
you are amazing. That's very good. So everybody's going to put formula. Perimeter equals
Wait, it's plus
2L plus 2W. That's what we have for perimeter of a rectangle. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. Now, Peter, what do you think I should do to solve this? Let me see if your brain can tell me what to do. Shh, what? Thank you. What? Come on now. I'm going for a walk. You tell me something. Come on now. You're a good thinker. Uh-oh, I forgot my foot. So I'm going for my walk. How far did I just walk? How far did I just walk? Don't tell him. This is, yeah, see, let him think about it. 23.5. Now, how far did I walk from here to here? Do we know? How far did I walk from here to here?
5.
Stop talking.
5 and 2/3.
How much from here? How much from here? So how far have I walked that I know about? Shh. Well, use your calculator to tell me. Yeah, you've walked 11 1/3. You've walked 11 1/3. So how much left do I have to walk? Shh. That's distracting you. Put it up. How did you get that? Wow. 10 and what? All right. So now this whole length from here to here and here to here is 10 and 1/6. So how much is one side going to be? No. Two sides is 10 and 1/6. 5 and 1/12. That is correct. This distance up here is 5 1/12 centimeters. I think, I'm not saying he's correct. I'm saying that's according to him. What's the matter?
Got 12.
Same.
Oh, okay, okay. So let's do this. Everybody do them on the calculator. 5 2/3 times 2. What's 5 2/3 times 2? 11 1/3. Now I have to subtract that from 23 1/2. So now do 23 1/2 minus that answer. And what's that again? 12 1/6, not 10 1/6, Peter. So you made a little mistake on that. You with me? But again, you're not allowed to just change your answer to 12 1/6. You're supposed to do it on your own. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Thank you so much. Does everybody agree that from here to here now, come on now, everybody's got to listen. Does everybody agree that from here to here and from here to here is 12 1/6? And then you divide that by 2. Hold up a second. Take 12 1/6 and divide that by 2, and that would be what? 6 and what? 6 1/12. Hold up, I'm still not done. 6 1/12 centimeters. All right, so that was the answer. If you're not sure about that, you can ask me again tomorrow. So here's your assignment. I want everybody to try 21, 22, listen, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And go back and do those 10, 12, and 14. So listen to me, 10, 12, 14, and 21 through 26. You guys are awesome. I appreciate, hey, you understand what I'm saying about being distracted, right? Put that stuff up. I need to get it all in your brain. All right, no distractions. Peter, thank you for that. That was good. All right, good thinking. Bring your calculator and bring this worksheet back tomorrow. You guys were awesome today. I appreciate it very much.